I'm Tara Brabazon. I'm the Dean of Graduate Research at Flinders University, and welcome to Vlog 113, How to Thrive in a PhD program. This vlog comes via request from Raj. Hi Raj, you're a legend. Now Raj has just finished his PhD. It's currently under examination, and I was in a training session. I was training Raj, and at the end of this session, he came up to me and said, "Look Tara, I think I've been successful in my PhD program, and I think I'll pass, but I just didn't thrive in the program. Could you do a vlog on that?" Well, Raj, your wish is my command, good sir. And can I say, I just love the word thrive. I would do it anyway, but the idea that I can say thrive a lot in the next vlog, in the next few minutes, it's just really exciting for me. So I think it's a great topic, and the word is a significant one. And important, I think, as the conclusion for our resilience trilogy, which increasingly became the anti-resilience trilogy. So let's do something positive. Let's get beyond some of the really poor resilience theory and think about thriving. And the literature around thriving comes from, yes, self-help, also a bit of social work, but the material that was really interesting as I was preparing for this vlog this week came from management, but particularly leadership theory. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some of this work on thriving in leadership and bending it in and for the PhD program. I found it a really fascinating vlog to write, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide 5 strategies for you that you can use on a daily basis or a weekly or monthly or even yearly basis to just create that moment of pause and reflection to move you from surviving a PhD program to thriving in a PhD program. That's what we're going to do today, because I don't want you to just survive. I want you to thrive through this. And I really get it that, you know, you're sort of all alone writing. It's a very isolating act. And even the guys and gals who are in lab environments or in clinical environments, at the end of the day, you're going to have to write that PhD up on your own. And you have those internal dialogues of doubt and questioning and fear and stress, and they block you from thriving in your program. So we're going to try and dispel some of that negative internal conversation today and do something contextually important to transform your relationship with your own PhD and the wider PhD program. So let's do 5 quick and dirty tips to move you on from surviving and just about managing to thriving in this program today. Let's do this. So 1, important one, be very clear about your motivations going in. Be very clear about your motivations going in. Now, this is obviously a specific strategy that's great for the students just entering our degree program. So as you're about to enter a PhD, it is important that you list with clarity the motivations, why you are doing this. Some of you may know with my PhD students, I don't let a student start with me in a PhD program until they've written down the 10 motivations for why they are doing it. And look, some of them are small, some of them are weird, some of them are large and important, and no judgment, but you need probably 10 to sustain you through the difficult, tragic, hard times. But I'm going a further step today because actually you should be thinking about motivations all the way through the PhD, not just at the beginning. And the argument I'm making today is clarity is important. You need to be very precise about what you are actually getting out of this program. I need your motivations and your intentions to be clear, and they will sustain you through the program. But remember, we're talking about not only surviving today, but thriving. And so I'm going to get a bit crunchy with you now and a bit tough. Let's sort this out, okay? Because about 40% of PhD students end up working in a university at the conclusion of their degree, 40%. So if you come into the degree with the singular motivation that you're going to end up an academic, look, that may happen, but 50-50, it won't happen, okay? So my worry is that you may be setting yourself up for disappointment. So all of us as human beings have to walk the line between the big bold motivation. So, I'll be a professor by the time I'm 35, or I am going to write the definitive research in this particular area. Those big, bold motivations, that's great. But you could also argue that those big, bold motivations give some of your power away, because to achieve those motivations, you're going to be reliant on other people giving you a break. Yeah? So I want to make sure that some of your motivations are completely within your control. That's important. So I want you to have that list of motivations, and I want you to put them everywhere. Put them on your phone, put them in your office, put them in your car. So whenever you're thinking, why am I doing this? Within about 5 seconds, you've got a list of 10 about why am I doing this? Oh, right, that's why I'm doing it. And if those motivations change, keep those lists up to date. And the reason I'm so focused on motivations is what the motivations do is they render your degree meaningful. And how you thrive in life is meaningful to you. So I need to make sure the degree you're doing, the research that you're producing is meaningful to you. And that is how you thrive. 2, manage your expectations. All of us want to be successful. Want to be successful. But how many of us actually prize open the word success and walk around with it a bit? So we actually work out what success means for us. And I had, and still have really, one baseline motivation in my life that I try and achieve. And you probably learned something about my background from this motivation, but I wanted to pay my own bills. I wanted to be self-sufficient. I never ever wanted anybody else to have to pay my bills for me. And I've worked as a full-time academic since I was 23, and I've never had a day out of work. So I have paid my bills, and I have been a self-sufficient woman, and I'm incredibly proud of that. And I think that pride comes from quite a negative source, as many of them do. My father, Kevin Brabazon, now 90, in my late teens, so 18, 19, 20, I was in my first degree at the University of Western Australia. He used to wander around the house, Big Kev, and say stuff like, she'll never work, she'll never work, she'll never work, she'll never work, she'll end up a professional student, she'll be a professional student, right? So you hear that enough for your degrees, and you maybe start to believe it, but actually I didn't, because I went, you know what? I'm going to earn a living and I'm going to pay my own bills because he is wrong. So it gives me a lot of pride that I actually got there. But I hope your expectations are a lot higher than that. They should be, but paying your bills, that's a worthwhile act. And I think it is important when we're thinking about your expectations and your motivations that you do have a baseline instrumental motivation. So something that is important to you that is achievable. Because expectation management is also disappointment management. I'll say that again. Expectation management is also disappointment management. And one reason you don't thrive is you get disappointed in yourself, disappointed in your friends or your family, or disappointed in the university or your supervisors. We'll keep the list going. So what I need you to do is manage your expectations by layering your expectations. Always have a plan B, C, D, E, and F. So the way to manage your expectations is to understand the context in which you are studying, in which you're doing your research, and gain as much information from that context as you can. Understand your supervisor, understand their style. So if your expectation is that you'll meet once a week and they meet students once a month, then you're going to have to manage your expectations so they match. So what I need you to do is control your expectations, manage them, curate your expectations, and then the disappointment starts to disappear. 3, keep your CV up to date. Now, it's very important every single day you log your achievements through your CV. In fact, a lot of you know when I do the induction program at Flinders University, on the first day of people's enrolment, I spend 5 minutes talking about you need to do your CV from today. I need you to go to the CV, I need you to open your CV, and I need you to update it for 30 minutes every single week. I say that to students on their first day of enrolment. And the reason why that's so important is the nature of employment these days, the nature of higher education these days, is when opportunities come, they come quickly. So if a consultancy or an award or a funding source emerges for you, a job emerges for you, you need that CV completely up to date. So you literally just have to upload the file and send it to somebody. So keep the CV up to date. That's important. And indeed, every bit of professional development you do in our new REST program, I need you to log that on your CV. So there's that reason. And it shows that you're ready to apply for work, you're good to go, and whatever opportunity comes up, you can take it. But I'm talking about the CV in a different way today, because the CV is the place where you log your achievements and you log your progress. So you can see what you've done and you can see why you've done it. You can actually see your professional journey. So at least once a week, I want you to look at your CV and take great pride in what you have done. Look at the development of your career, and I want you to gain confidence and gain a sense of achievement from looking at your CV and seeing the trajectory of your professional life. 4, celebrate each achievement. The isolation of a PhD program means that feedback, care, compassion, sometimes even conversation with another human being tends to be lacking a bit for some hours, some days, some weeks. And I understand certainly those early mornings of writing, it's dark, there's not a movement in the house, and you're sort of thinking, does anybody know I'm even alive? I understand those internal conversations, and they're not hugely helpful, but let's find a strategy to mitigate them a bit. And of course, the way we mitigate that is through social media. Social media are sharing media, indeed, nay, oversharing media. But you know what? We can use that oversharing in a PhD program really well, because you've got family, you've got friends, you've got colleagues all around the world that you meet who care about you and who will offer support and feedback. So use social media as a platform to celebrate. Celebrate every micro achievement. If you've just done a great tutorial, you feel great about it, say it. If you've just done a great lecture, say it, share it. If you've got a refereed article, send it out into the world. And the great benefit of sharing this type of research and teaching, achievement and success, is that not only will you get that emotional support, which is tremendously important, but also you'll be amazed what else happens. Because research dissemination through social media is very, very powerful. Because, for example, I might know Mike, and Mike shares a great article with his friends, and I say, oh, Mike, that's a fantastic piece. Cheryl, have you met Mike? Look at that article. And so Cheryl reads that article and goes, wow, that's incredible. She then cites it, and then Mike and Cheryl actually have a new relationship, and collaborations are possible. I can't tell you how often that happens, where you've got friends who have got friends who have got friends who have got friends, and then suddenly those friends start to communicate and share their research. And that gives you incredible confidence and support, and also effective research dissemination. So it is important in life that you pause, you share, and you enjoy the kindness of others who support and care for you. So use digitisation and use those digital connections to centre your analogue life during those difficult times. Okay, 5. Important one. So undercooked, really. Recognise the scale of your achievement. Okay, this final strategy is an important one, and you need to hear it. 99% of the world's population could not do a PhD. So this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. You are one of the truly gifted, brilliant, and clever people on this planet, and you've been given the gift of time and the gift of admission to a doctoral program to transform knowledge on Earth. How remarkable is that? What a gift is that? So you are doing something that the rest of the population cannot do, cannot even consider to do. So once a day, I want you to revel in that. Revel in your fabulousness. Revel in how spectacular you are and how spectacular this achievement really is. I want you to feel it. And I want you to own it. And I think perhaps, Raj, the reason why you feel you didn't thrive in the PhD, and so many of our students feel they didn't thrive in a PhD, is you just sort of become lost in the work. It becomes worry, it becomes stress, maybe it becomes that imposter syndrome thing, but it's just day after day of relentless work. And yet, what you're doing is so extraordinary that just once a day, I want you to sit in that feeling and really enjoy it. Savour how extraordinary a PhD really is. So, I hope, Raj, that I've fulfilled my brief for you, good sir, and we have a sense now of how we move beyond surviving a PhD and into thriving throughout a doctoral program. Good on you, Raj. Great suggestion, and I wish you all love, light, and peace. Tea out.